Here we have a Nintendo Switch that came in for a problem. The problem is, let me connect the battery. When you plug the charging cable, it comes on and then it goes off after a few seconds. Plug the charging cable. And nothing is showing up right now. Plug the charging cable. Okay, nothing. Before it was coming on for a second and then it goes back out. Right now, it's not coming on. That's okay. We already disassembled the board right here, and I do see signs of flux on this side of the board, on many areas of the board. So God knows what's happening with this board. Let's take a look. Right now, right off the bat, we see that this chip was replaced. We see signs of flux here, right here. USB-C port was replaced. And this shield may possibly be touching those pins. BQ chip, I think this one is original. What else? Flip the board. P13 chip was replaced. You can tell by the solder joints. So P13, M92 and USB-C port were all replaced. Now what I noticed was when I plug the cable, the ammeter goes off. So I'm leaning more towards the USB-C connector. Maybe the USB-C connector is not soldered on properly, or it could be a problem with the M92 chip, or it could be a problem with the P13 chip, but we're gonna have to take it one step at a time. If I am to take an educated guess, I'm gonna start with the USB-C connector, and that's what we're gonna do now. Right now we're gonna tin the front pads, and we're gonna reflow the connector onto those pads. Once the connector goes on top, we cannot solder the pins onto those pads. So we have to pre-apply solder now. Just like that. Make sure we have enough solder right here. Right, and let's go ahead and check. Make sure all the pins are solid. Pin number 1, 2, solid, solid, and all the pins are very solid. Now let's solder the back legs right here. and better than factory. Very nice. Look at those joints. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Now, while we are here, why not reflow this P13 chip? It does not look good. Maybe the chip itself is good. Now on this chip, I could tell that there was still unleaded solder. Unleaded solder is harder to work with. It takes more heat to liquefy and more time to work with. All right, so we're all good here. Let's go ahead and try the board now and see if we made any progress. If not, then we're gonna go after the M92 chip. Nothing. Nothing. So we're gonna have to go over the M92 chip. It may even be our BQ chip. Maybe the shield is shorting out with this chip. I just want to try it without the shield. Battery plugged in. Nothing. Let me check and see if we are getting voltage right here. And I have 12 volts here. I have 12 volts out. The only thing left is the BQ chip. And we have to be careful not to burn that connector right next to it. So we're gonna cover it with aluminum tape. And for anyone wondering, aluminum tape is sold on our site, NorthridgeFix.com. Click on shop. And we have a lot in stock as of now. So we're gonna cover that connector. And I'm gonna put one more layer of aluminum tape, just like this. And we're all good. Let's clean up. And let's remove the foil paper here. Very nice. And look at our connector. Intact. No burn marks. Plastic did not melt. Because I cannot tell you how many times we get Nintendo Switches where we have to change this connector because somebody tried to replace this chip and they burned this connector. And sometimes we see it as far as the battery connector where we have to also change this. Will it work now? One way to find out. It's working. Right there. Okay. It jumped from 12 volts to 9 volts, 1.6 amps, and that's perfect. Problem solved. After what? After doing the P13, M92, BQ, and USB-C connector. Wow. I'm gonna give this to Big Bus to reassemble and test, and I'll be back to finish the video. We have a problem. We reassembled the board, but we're not getting any display. Display is totally black, even though the motherboard is working, it's charging, it's powering on, but no display onto the LCD. Let's take a look at the LCD connector. I just want to quickly inspect it. Oh, it looks like the LCD connector was replaced before. Look at this. Let's go ahead and replace the LCD connector and we'll see what happens. Now we're gonna solder our new connector. I do not want to confuse the new connector with the old one, so let me make sure, because I have both of them on the bench. I think this is the old one, or is it the new one? Okay, this one is the old one, and this one is the new one. Look at the legs. All right, so now that the connector is aligned, let's go ahead and reflow the connector. So the connector is going to settle in place, just like that. Beautiful. And that's it. Job is done. Let's wait until solder hardens, and better than factory. Let's go over the pins quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. And what about this side? Awesome. Let's take a look at the soldering. Now look at this. Tell me it's not better than factory. And if we look at the other side, look at those joints. Look at the joints. Beautiful. LCD cable is in. Digitizer cable, backlight, power button, and all is left to plug in is the battery. It's 6:20 right now. Big Boss already left, but it only took a few minutes to put the board in. So let's plug the battery. Plug the charging cable. And do we see? Yes, yes, right there. 12 volts. It switched to 9 volts at 1.8 amps. Awesome. Look at this. Back, go back, and it's working. Great. We replaced the USB-C connector, the BQ chip. I reflowed and fixed the M92, the P13, and finally I soldered a new LCD connector. Console is working, finally. And before we end the video, I want to give special thanks to Niall from Niall Phone Repair. He's in San Luis Obispo, California, and he came in today. He always passes by. He came in today and he brought us sweets. He brought this one. Absolutely amazing. I do not know what it's called. Gata Nazook. Niall is from Iraq, but the writing here is not in Arabic, so maybe Iranian or something similar. I do not know, but the sweet is amazing. And he also brought us a box of dates. Thank you very much, Niall. I really appreciate it. I already ate 2 pieces and looks something like this. Perfect. That's amazing. If you happen to be in the San Luis Obispo area and you need help with your phone, you can check out Niall Phone Repair. He's located at 1428 Spring Street, Paso Robles, California 93446. Phone number 805-468-5736. And this is not an advertisement. Niall is not paying me to do this, and he does not even know that I'm going to mention him in today's video. But I just wanted to thank him for the sweets that he brought in. I really appreciate it. And that's it. We're going to end the video right here. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.